The stars shattered like glass above the crumbling skyline of New Eden, and in that moment, Captain Elias Thorne realized he had just doomed humanity's last hope or saved it. The explosion rippled through the void, a silent fury that tore apart the Xerian blockade ships in a cascade of blue fire and debris. Elias gripped the controls of his battered fighter, the cockpit alarm screaming as shrapnel pinged against the hull. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from the weight of what he'd done. He'd infiltrated the alien fleet, planted the quantum disruptor, and triggered it against orders. Earth Command had called it suicide, but as the Xerian mothership listed sideways, venting plasma into the blackness, Elias whispered to himself, for her, for all of them. But victory tasted like ash. What came next would change everything. Elias Thorne was no stranger to the stars. Born on the dusty remnants of old Earth, he'd clawed his way up from the refugee camps of Luna Base, where the air recyclers hummed like dying bees and the food synthesizers spat out gray sludge. At 38, with scars etching his face like a map of forgotten battles, he was humanity's reluctant hero. The Xerian War had taken his family, his wife lost in the first invasion wave, his son vaporized in orbital strike. All that remained was a hollow drive, a need to strike back at the invaders who had turned the solar system into a graveyard. The Xerions, towering beings from the Andromeda Arm, their skin like polished obsidian, eyes glowing with the cold fire of ancient stars. They claimed Earth as a resource node, stripping its core for their endless empire. But Elias had heard whispers, rumors of a king among them, a ruler who saw humans not as pests, but as potential allies, or playthings. He dismissed it as propaganda until now. As his fighter limped back toward the human flagship, the Odyssey, a transmission crackled through the static. Not from command, from the Xerian mothership itself. Human warrior, the voice boomed, deep and resonant, like thunder echoing in a crystal cave. You have pierced our veil. The king wishes to parley. Elias froze. Parley? After he'd just gutted their fleet? This had to be a trap. But what choice did he have? The Odyssey was outnumbered, its shields flickering. If he refused, they'd all die. He docked under heavy escort, Xerian guards flanking him like shadows come to life. Their armor hummed with energy fields, weapons that could disintegrate a man with a thought. Elias kept his hands visible, his pulse pistol holstered. The air inside the mothership was thick, scented with ozone and something floral, alien. They led him to the throne chamber, a vast hall where stars wheeled overhead through a transparent dome. At its center sat the king, Zoreth, ruler of the Xerian dominion. He was immense, twice Elias's height, his form draped in robes that shifted like liquid metal. Beside him, a figure caught Elias's eye, a Xerian female, smaller, her eyes not cold but fierce, burning with unspoken rage. You are the one they call Thorn, Zoreth intoned, his voice vibrating through Elias's bones. Your strike was bold, reckless. It has cost me much. Elias met his gaze. It saved my people. For now. The king leaned forward, a smile cracking his obsidian features, unnatural, almost human. Indeed, and for that I offer a gift, a bond to seal peace. Peace? Elias's mind reeled. But then the king gestured to the female beside him. My daughter, Lyriel. She is yours. The words hung in the air like a blade. Lyriel stiffened, her eyes flashing with defiance. Elias stared, confusion warring with horror. A gift? His rebellious daughter? What madness was this? But that was only the beginning. Lyriel stormed from the chamber, her robes swirling like a storm cloud. Elias followed under guard, his mind a whirlwind. This wasn't a reward, it was a curse. The Xerions mated for life through neural bonds he'd heard. Was this some twisted alliance? Or a way to control him? In the corridors of the mothership, vast and labyrinthine, Lyriel whirled on him. Up close, she was striking, her skin a deeper shade of midnight, etched with faint luminescent veins that pulsed with her anger. You think this is an honor, human? She hissed, her voice a melody laced with venom. My father uses me as a pawn. And you're just a tool. Elias raised his hands. I didn't ask for this. I came to fight not whatever this is. Her laugh was bitter. Fight? You've ignited a civil war. My faction, the rebels, saw your attack as a signal. But now bound to you, I'm exiled for my own cause. Rebels? Elias's pulse quickened. So, the Zirions weren't monolithic, fissures in their empire. This could be an opportunity or a death sentence. They were ushered to a private quarters, a suite overlooking the wreckage of the battle. Stars drifted by, silent witnesses. Lyriel paced, her form graceful yet tense, like a predator coiled. The bond, she explained, is not just symbolic. It links minds, shares thoughts, emotions. My father thinks it will tame me, make me loyal through you. Elias sank into a chair, the alien material molding to him unervingly. And you? What do you want? She stopped, her eyes meeting his, vulnerable for a flicker. Freedom. To overthrow him. The Dominion crushes worlds, including yours. But I see potential in alliances, not conquest. A spark ignited in Elias. Alliance, not subjugation. But could he trust her? Her thoughts brushed his mind then, tentative, a wave of frustration, loneliness, defiance. The bond was forming already. What secrets would it reveal next? Back on the Odyssey, chaos reigned. Command debriefed Elias in a sterile room, holograms flickering with battle data. Admiral Reyes, a grizzled veteran with eyes like chipped ice, slammed his fist on the table. You took the daughter of their king? Are you insane, Thorn? This could be a Trojan horse. Elias rubbed his temples, the bond's hum growing stronger. He could feel Lyriel's presence even across the void, her anger at being confined to a shuttle in docking bay. It's not like that. She's against him, rebels within their ranks. Reyes scoffed. And you believe her? Aliens don't think like us. This bond, it's tech, right? We can sever it. But Elias hesitated. In the hours since, flashes had come. Memories of Lyriel's childhood on Zirian Prime, a world of crystal spires and endless nights. Her mother's execution for dissent. Her father's iron rule. It felt real. Raw. No, Elias said, we use it. Learn their weaknesses. Reyes eyed him warily. You're changing, Captain. Don't let it consume you. As Elias left, a message pinged his neural implant from Lyriel. Come to me. There's something you must see. He found her in the shuttle, holographic displays blooming around her like flowers. She projected a star map, red lines snaking through systems. My father's fleet isn't the only threat. The Void Swarm approaches ancient machines from the galaxy's edge. They devour worlds. He knows, but hides it to maintain power. Elias leaned in, the map's glow reflecting in his eyes. Machines? Older than the Zirions? This war was bigger than he'd imagined. But as their hands brushed, the bond surged, emotions crashing like waves. Her fear, his doubt, and something deeper, unwelcome, attraction. None of us were prepared for the truth. The Odyssey jumped to hyperspace, fleeing the battle site toward the neutral zone, a cluster of asteroids where human resistance hid. Elias and Lyriel were isolated in quarters, under watch. The bond deepened with each passing hour, thoughts intertwining like vines. Elias dreamed her dreams, flying through Zirian skies on anti-grav wings, the wind singing freedom. She felt his nightmares. The day Earth fell, cities crumbling under orbital fire, his son's tiny hand slipping from his. Why me? He asked one night as they sat facing each other, the room dim with starlight. Lyriel tilted her head, her luminescent veins glowing softly. Father saw your fire. Your loss mirrors mine. He thinks it will break us both. Elias reached out, tentative, or forged something stronger. Their fingers touched, and the bond flared. Visions of a shared future, humans and Zirions united against greater foes. But doubt lingered. Was this manipulation? Her rebellion real or ruse? Alert shattered the moment. Scouts reported Zirian pursuers closing in. The king's forces, loyalists hunting the traitors. The chase began. Asteroids loomed like jagged teeth as the Odyssey weaved through the field. Xerian cruisers, sleek and deadly, fired plasma lances that scorched the void. Elias manned a turret, Lyriel beside him, her alien tech interfacing with human systems. "Left flank," she shouted, her mind linking to his, anticipating moves before they happened. He fired, a torpedo blooming into fire against an enemy hull. Synergy. Power. But the bond revealed more. Her secret communications with rebels, coordinates for a rendezvous. Trust or betrayal? The question burned. They escaped, barely, docking at Hidden Reach, a hollowed asteroid base teeming with refugees. Humans stared at Lyriel, whispers of alien which following them. Elias defended her, but tension simmered. In a quiet cavern, lit by bioluminescent fungi, Lyriel confessed, "I led them here, not to destroy, but to force a choice. My rebels will arrive soon. Join us, Elias. End my father's reign." His heart twisted. Betray humanity for her cause? Or use her to win the war? The decision loomed like a shadow. Rebels descended, Xerian dissidents in cloaked ships, their forms varied, some with cybernetic enhancements, others scarred from battles. Their leader, a grizzled warrior named Kale, clasped Lyriel's arm. "Princess, you've brought the human spark." Elias watched, jealousy flickering, an emotion amplified by the bond. Kale outlined the plan. Infiltrate Xerian Prime, assassinate the king, install Lyriel as ruler. A new era of peace. But Elias saw flaws. "The Void Swarm, you said it's coming. We need unity, not regicide." Lyriel turned to him, eyes pleading. "Father won't listen. He's blinded by power." Debate raged into the night. Elias felt her turmoil, love for her people, hatred for her sire. His own stakes, humanity's survival. If they failed, Earth remnants would perish. A spy was revealed, a human traitor bought by the king. Chaos erupted, blasters firing in caverns. Elias shielded Lyriel, taking a hit to his shoulder, pain lancing through them both via the bond. In the aftermath, trust fractured. "Was it you?" Elias accused, doubt poisoning his thoughts. Her denial was fierce. "Never. But now we must act fast." The assault on Xerian Prime began. Hyperspace folded around their fleet, a ragtag armada of human fighters and rebel cruisers. Elias piloted the lead ship, Lyriel, at navigation, their minds synced in perfect harmony. Planets blurred past, stars streaking like tears. Xerian Prime emerged. A jewel of crystal towers piercing crimson clouds, oceans of liquid energy roiling below. Defenses activated, orbital cannons thundering silent death. They punched through, landing amid chaos. Streets teemed with loyalists and rebels clashing, energy blades singing. Elias and Lyriel raced toward the palace, the bond guiding them through mazes. Guards fell, but each kill weighed on Elias, echoes of Lyriel's sorrow for kin. At the throne, Zorith waited, his form augmented with armor, eyes blazing. "Daughter, you bring shame." She faced him, voice steady. "No, father, you do." Battle ensued, a whirlwind of force fields and blasts. Elias fought beside her. But the king was mighty, hurling psychic waves that shattered minds. In a desperate move, Lyriel linked fully with Elias, their bond a weapon. Thoughts merged, his human ingenuity, her alien power. They struck, disrupting the king's neural core. He fell, crumbling like stone. But in his dying breath, the swarm, "It's here. For you." Alarms wailed. The sky darkened as void swarm tendrils pierced the atmosphere. Ancient machines, hungering voids. What I saw next changed everything. The swarm wasn't machines. It was alive, a collective consciousness from a universe's dawn, devouring to evolve. Zorith had bargained with it, offering worlds for power. Now unleashed, Elias and Lyriel stood amid the ruins, the bond pulsing with shared terror. Rebels rallied, but the swarm adapted, ships dissolving into nothingness. "We merge," Lyriel said, gripping his hand. "Fully. Become one." Elias hesitated. Lose himself? But her love flooded him, pure and fierce. He nodded. The fusion, minds entwining, bodies glowing. They became a beacon broadcasting a countersignal, human emotion disrupting the swarm's logic. Tendrils recoiled, the collective screaming in digital agony. It retreated, vanishing into the void. Peace descended. Lyriel, now queen, forged alliances. Elias, her consort, bridged worlds. But in quiet moments he wondered, was the bond love or creation? As stars wheeled eternal, Elias whispered to her, "We saved everything." She smiled. "No, we began something new." And in that union, the galaxy found its heart. Midway through the void, anomalies appeared, rips in space-time, echoes of Zoratha's core instability propagating. The supernova threat was real, faster than anticipated. My fix might not hold. Panic set in. Lyra, tendril-less and vulnerable, revealed more. The symbionts were alien parasites, not allies controlling Zorath for millennia. Shaving freed them, but at a cost, emotional overload. Lyra felt everything now. Fear, joy, regret. Like you humans, it said, bonding formed, human and alien against the cosmos. We repaired the ship, sharing stories. Mine of Earth's fragility, Lyra's of suppressed dreams. Tension built as rips grew, pulling us in. A major turning point hit when we entered a wormhole spat out near a hidden Zorath outpost. Vorak had survived, rallying loyalists. You thought shaving the lies would end it? His voice broadcasted. Ambush. Fighters swarmed. This wasn't what I expected. Not escape, but war. Lyra and I fought back, my science meshing with its tactics. I jury-rigged the razor into a weapon, its energy disrupting symbionts from afar. Shave them all, Lyra urged. Battle raged, ships exploding in silent blooms. Vorak boarded, a final confrontation. You shave, and I'll kill you, he repeated, charging. We clashed in the corridors, his strength overwhelming. He pinned me, talon at my throat. Submit. But Lyra intervened, using its newfound emotions to fuel a desperate attack. For freedom. It shaved Vorak's tendrils with my dropped razor, exposing his own lies. He'd known the parasite's control, profiting from it. Vorak screamed, mind-shattering. He collapsed, defeated. The loyalists, witnessing, surrendered. The revolution spread galaxy-wide. But victory was bittersweet. Lyra, exhausted, confided, I fear what I'd become without them. Human emotion versus alien logic, now blurred. We limped to Earth, warning sent ahead. Arrival was triumphant, yet heavy. Authorities debriefed us, Lyra hailed as ambassador. I reunited with Lila, her eyes wide at my tales. Dad, you did the unthinkable. Yes, shaving lies, severing control. But the core stabilized, thanks to shared tech. World saved. In the quiet nights, I stared at the stars, razor kept as a memento. The final truth. We all carry tendrils of deception. To shave them is to live free. And in that freedom, the universe whispered possibilities. But remember, you shave and everything changes.